For today's project, we're back at Mark's house. You may remember our video a few weeks ago called Clearing a Trail. We used Vinny and the Tough Cut, plus Johnny 2 and the Grapple to clear trees to create a path in a 12-acre woods. Since then, Mark has been hard at work to clear another portion of the trail. He used his chainsaw and cut down a lot of small trees, and his daughter helped him clear away most of that brush. We've brought the Tough Cut back to mow the path again, then we've got the Stump Grinder, and finally we'll run the power rake over it.
That's right, Christy. And if I had realized that Mark had cleaned it up so well, we might not have even needed the Tough Cut. I did help it a little bit here in a few areas, but all this up front here, nearest the opening, Mark had done a great job clearing up, using his new little tractor. So we'll make a quick run through here, and if all the trail looks like this, well, we'll get on to the next step. Mark is pointing out the stumps, helping me to keep from hitting them with my tires. I don't really want to puncture a tire and have a flat. Okay, we're on the furthest back, the deepest part of the trail, and it's not in quite as good a shape. So I'm glad we had the Tough Cut.
This is what I thought we were going to be facing right here.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
must
was
have
gonna
gotten
bring that
lazy.
landscape rake, but you've got all that already done except for this one little strip.
Yep. I don't know. I guess this is where I got dehydrated.
But a landscape rake would run right through here and just rake all that up, and then we could push it off to the side.
I've been working hard.
I could tell. Good grief, I can't believe you did all this by hand. Okay, I guess I need to run all the way back and swap attachments. I don't think I want that mower on the back either while I'm grinding.
Probably not.
I think we're going to have a good enough trail through here that we can cart a lot of wood out.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't think we could get a truck and trailer back, do you, Christy?
Not unless your truck was really narrow.
Well, I was just trying to come up with some way that we didn't have to grapple it out one log at a time. That's
Yeah.
what I was.
Yeah.
And they make little trailers. They make nice trailers,
Sure.
real nice trailers. I don't mean road trailers, but
Yeah.
Real King has a, I don't know if they call it a 3-ton or a 2-ton trailer, you know, that's meant for pulling behind your tractor.
Yeah.
And, you know, in that case, you come load a bigger load and take it. But
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't have one, and I don't really have a need for one.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll get some experience, get better at it.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the Stump Grinder. Now, a lot of the stumps that we dealt with were really small, like an inch or so. We didn't show a lot of these because, frankly, the larger ones are more interesting to watch being ground. But we did hit the smaller ones with the grinder. Usually I could just drop the grinder right on it and destroy it in one swipe, just like this one. Anything up to 3-4 inches goes really without any thought at all. Just drive up to it and swipe a couple of times, and you'll be done. Eight to 10-inch stumps like this one are when you finally have to take the back and forth and move forward just a little bit approach and just be a little more methodical. Anything smaller than that, swipe, swipe, all done.
Sometimes not only do I have to operate the camera, I have to dig out stumps for him.
Yeah, there's a couple of challenges. First, after I've ground a while, the sawdust will cover up the rest of the stump and I just can't really see what's going on. The other challenge is the mirror. The mirror, of course, is looking at a different angle. So it makes it hard sometimes to figure out where the stump is in relation to where the mirror is telling me it is. Sometimes I'll back up to take a look, and then when I drive forward with the mirror, the angle is so different that I get lost again. Now, to be clear, this is an incredible stump grinder, especially for this kind of job. Just move it back and forth, move on to the next stump. Move it back and forth, move on to the next stump. The mobility is fabulous, and the grinder works fast. So while the mirror's a bit awkward in some cutting scenarios, overall this machine is incredible for grinding stumps. Simple design too.
I have been trying to help Tim spot especially small trees that needed to be ground, but honestly, there were a lot of stumps and, well, I got kind of bored. So I started playing with this orange marker that I found. I guess I should have asked Tim to give me a turn at using Vinny. Hey, it's on to step 3, power raking the path.
I do wish I'd had my new landscape rake here for Johnny, but I didn't have room on the trailer, so I just had to go without it. What you're going to see here is the versatility of the power rake. It's not optimal in this heavy weeds and heavy brush because it kind of gets wrapped up on the roller, but I'm able to get the job done. Perhaps I should define my objective in this step. There's a stump there right in front of Vinny, little one, that I missed with the grinder, and by running over it several times we can render it harmless. So I want to make things smooth. I want to get rid of all the brush, the limbs and the logs and just anything that's in the way of this trail. And I want to put a nice smooth grade on the trail. We did this on the first section, and Mark really liked how it turned out. I'm learning that one of the biggest tricks to any grading type project is patience. You have to be repetitive, go over it several times, and it'll get better and better. Having said that, of course there are exceptions. Sometimes you can tell that as you go over it again and again, it gets in worse condition. Usually that's because of mud or some other scenario that, might work itself out on another trip. So if possible, just stop for that day, wait for a rain, and come back and finish a little later. In this case, I could see improvement with every trip. I just needed to go back and forth a few more times. I could get some of these brush and weeds and just other junk pushed up in front of the rake, and then I would kind of scoot it off to the side and move on.
Well, Christy, you can see after 3 or 4 trips with this power rake, it looks totally different.
It does. It looks really good.
Yeah, what I noticed is the first trip with the power rake, I think, well, this thing's not going to do anything. And then the second trip,
It looks like it pulled out some weeds.
Yeah, the first trip it just rolled up weeds, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I did some of this the other day when you weren't here.
Right.
And I got all nervous about having the weeds wrapped up around it. And I may be nervous about that a little bit again.
Yeah.
But the last time, I just kept working as the dirt got cleaner, you know, and I pushed some of those weeds. I think I wore out the weeds that had wrapped around.
Oh, okay. So they kind of came off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of came off on their own, and I didn't really have to worry about them. And it just seems like after you go through it the third or fourth time, it begins to look like dirt.
Yeah, it's nice and leveling it where you had ground out those stumps and just the unevenness of the forest. It's leveling that out. It'll be nice to walk on.
Yeah, and even the small stumps, you know, we miss some. You just can't help it. We
Yeah.
miss some grinding. And small stuff, say an inch or smaller, you can roll this thing over it for a while, and it's not like it really grinds the stump off, but it beats it.
Beats them to a pulp.
It beats them to a pulp. They lose their integrity, so there's nothing left. Even if you were to hit it, even with a bicycle tire, it would just fall right over.
Oh, cool.
I tried that on a couple of bigger ones, even a 2-incher, and I just kept working,
Yeah.
and I could do the same thing. It just took a lot longer.
The worst part is Benny needs a bath.
I need a bath.
Yeah, me too.
Well, really, it's just more of the same.
Yep,
And you got your own vehicle today.
I do. I'm going home.
Okay, you go home.
Somebody's got to edit.
Right. I'll see you in a little while.
Okie dokie.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Da 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 da.
You want me to use that instead of the real jingle?
I don't know. My question is, it looks like your tractor grew up.
Yes, it did. And I'm telling you, this thing's really cool.